I almost dragged Venom.
He's the one running, right?
Yes, totally.
Oh wow. What a fast startup. So just tell me when we're
yeah,
ready to go.
Whenever you're good, I can start the timer.
Okay. I guess 3, 2, 1, go. Why'd I just hit space on my own computer?
Alright, good luck.
Thanks. So, hello everyone. This is Spyro Year of the Dragon 149 egg. And the rules of the category for 149 egg are to grab every egg in the game outside of Super Bonus Round. Because if you were to grab the egg in Super Bonus Round, that is 117%. Therefore, we wanted to make a category where we just do like all of the eggs except for that. Not have to worry about gem collecting or anything. So, thanks for the luck, everyone. So, this first level is actually probably one of the hardest levels in the run. Sunny Villa is quite a brutal level in this game for 149. I'm just like not doing anything right now. I can't. What I'm trying to go for enemy proxies, but I guess I'm not doing it. These are all like really bad. I'm just like aiming really wrong right now. Okay, well, I'm getting nothing right now. Maybe I'll be able to show off some proxies later. So right here, you can just go behind the level, and
Hey, Spyro.
they just didn't like set up any invisible barriers around the side, so you're able to just charge jump around the slope and go around out of bounds to reach over to Sheila back there. That's kind of a recurring thing that happens in this game. You go out of bounds to enter level triggers. Also, yeah, 149 egg, that area is like very prone to crashing. So that can be a big problem when doing runs in this category. Have to make sure to go like really low to try to avoid.
What?
So yeah, as I was saying, this is indeed like the hardest, like one of, if not the hardest levels in this run. Even like harder than any other category for this level, because you actually need like 3 really good proxies to actually like do this optimally. Each one saves like a solid 15 to 20 seconds. Anyway, let's see if I can go in here. That was meh. Ah, there we go. At least I got one. So in this game, when you charge jump in the air, you can actually hit the X button a second time in the air, and it gives you 1 frame to glide. And usually you'd think that wouldn't really be too special, but this game, when you're charging, kind of makes your hitbox a bit different. It allows you to go through objects, whereas gliding does not allow you. So if you enter the hitbox of an enemy while you're gliding, or while you're charging and then change to a glide, the game will try to throw you out as fast as possible. And generally doing that, it'll either throw you forward or upwards with a lot of velocity. Yeah, I mean the proxy that matters. Hopefully after this level, I'm actually feeling kind of nervous right now. Mostly because this level is terrifying. Yeah, as you can see, this is skateboarding. This is a terrible minigame. Absolutely awful.
All right, if you go get it,
Mostly
Spyro.
because a lot of stuff that we do in here is manip that can be kind of precise. And if you miss it, a lot of times you are just bound to crash on the skateboard. Or you're just going to be like stumbling around trying to grab a lizard for like 30-40 seconds. Overall, this skateboarding hasn't been too bad. Actually, it's probably the thing that's gone the best in the level. Aside from Shiloh, which is like pretty normal. Pretty basic. There's a couple of like high jumps that I did to skip some tower sections, but not too big. Yeah. I mean, I actually don't mind skateboarding too much in 117. I don't like it near as much in this category, partly because you're doing the same thing twice. Anyway, that's Sunny Villa, hardest level in the game. Now, we get to move on to some more enjoyable levels, such as Cloud Spires. And Cloud Spires is actually the same in this category as it would be in 100 Egg, because you grab all the eggs anyway in this level. Right here, I'm gonna go for flop. Okay. I took that way too safe. So this is the Sun Seeds challenge. The goal of this, of course, is to flame all the Sun Seeds to get them to the fire pot in the middle. They take varying paths of quote-unquote varying difficulty. I don't really notice, I just go fast.
Now that's
Smiley face.
oh,
Everything.
Rhinox
Hmm. Nice. So you can actually like hit some of the camera buttons on the frame that you're entering whirlwinds and stuff, and it'll make the camera go kind of weird. Also, welcome to Bell Towers, where we have kind of another like oversight in the game, which comes in at exiting the level. So, as you're exiting, you jump right before you exit, and that gives you upward momentum before you end up leaving, because the game stores a bit of momentum when you enter or leave side areas. Use that to have a little bit of extra height so that you're able to glide out and land on the top area. Yes, this is a meme category. It's also a very hard category. And now I get to stand here for a few seconds. So right now I'm going to be doing an out of bounds followed by a swim in air. I'll let it speak for itself for the moment. Alright, got it. So at the start there, to get in that fight to get out of bounds, we end up doing something called a superfly jump, which are very similar mechanically to double jumps in Spyro 2. It just allows you to get extra height so that you're able to get out of bounds. And then
Thanks again.
and then the swim triggers in this game are kind of interesting, where you're able to just I wanted to kill that guy. Anyway, the swim in air. Swim triggers extend a little bit underneath the map so that you're able to hit like the very corner of them so that you go underneath the map. And you can just start to swim from underneath. I mean, in defense, 2%. We had some much memeier categories in this already in the marathon, so it's not really a big deal. Also, yeah, welcome to Sheila's Up. I've been here a little bit already, but this is like the first real level with actual RNG in it. Mostly in respect to like enemy placement and such. And I could also discuss earlier how I entered this level. Once again, like, a lot of portals are either stored out of bounds or you can reach them from different angles. So a lot of the loading zones for like the actual level portals are placed under the map. So a lot of what we do is like find a way to reach it under the map and just go through it under the map. So coming up here, Molten Crater, I'm going to be going for an animation proxy off of a boar. And basically what I'm doing is I'm going to be proxying off of the small animation that it does where the boar kind of puffs itself up. Got it. You just use that to launch yourself over and not pay for entering thieves.
Hey there.
Thanks, Jazz. There is actually an earlier flame you can get on that thief there, but it's kind of precise. Now what we're doing is we are going to do another unintended level entry, but by using these posts this time. Portal just bleeds on top, so you enter from the top.
Hello, Spyro.
This is Sergeant Bird. He has some very interesting movement, which is mostly just like strafing everywhere. So a lot of this is just like dealing with awkward camera angles and stuff. And trying to do some head snipes. As I'm gonna try to go for one here. That angle, or the camera just kind of went stupid there, but I still got it, so that's fine. Yeah, actually most of the GBA games are pretty good. I would agree. You spelled it wrong, Jazz. It's with a Y. Hello. Ooh.
Take this.
That was actually pretty good, Sergeant Bird. It was very clean. It's actually a very easy place to just lose a bunch of time because you get hit by a bird. Yeah. I was about to rephrase myself there. I was like, nah, I'll just say bird. Now we get to a pretty major veer off from 100 egg because now I get to enter a speedway. And speedways are just 117. Yeah, you're right, Venom. I tend to have problems in Mushroom Speedway, so hopefully that doesn't happen. I have a tendency to bonk on a lot of nothing when I'm doing this level. Sergeant Bort, yes. I was taking that a little too bold over what I wanted. Funny thing with speedways, like time trials, as soon as you get the last gem, you're able to just exit out, and it just counts as done anyway. So it's a nice little time saver. Now we're at the race, which is just all about saving a few frames around every turn. As you'll probably notice through me going through these rings, the ring triggers are a bit more than lenient. I don't even actually have to hit most of the rings to still go through them. Such as that one, I wasn't even like anywhere near that ring, or that one. So yeah, it's a lot of like just cutting as many corners as you can, as well as staying in supercharge, because in every single speedway the supercharge speed is faster than the gliding speed, though the gliding speed in each speedway gets progressively faster, with Harbor Speedway being very close to supercharged speed. After this, I am going to be meeting Hunter during the time trial to try to do a little challenge. 136, that's okay for me. Oh yeah, you're going to be hearing this music quite a bit because I run on version 1.0, which has less music, which means that you, during every speedway, are going to be hearing this song. Dude, Volcano Slide is solid. I missed one of the UFOs. Anyway, yeah, this is a hunter challenge. All of the hunter challenges have a theme of alien sheep and UFOs. Oh man, I almost got destroyed there. Yeah, that one actually, that plane challenge has a cycle that you can hit that's really fast. Like you finish the challenge in like 15 seconds, but I missed 3 of the planes there, so I had to go back and clean up. Volcano Slide is solid, but not as good as getting Exorcism Glitch in the Honey Slide. So here we are at another level that is the same as in 100 Egg. A seashell. So if anybody was watching the 100 Egg run, it's same old, same old. Need to do a hitbox spawning proxy off of this seashell run. I can miss it. Dang.
Oh, hi, Spyro.
Now welcome to another Sheila section, which has a couple of potential optimizations. You can actually hit some of the camera buttons on like the right frames while entering that egg, allowing you to walk out the cave during the egg animation. And there's also an out of bounds there, allowing you to skip talking to the seals and save a couple seconds. Now, the scary thing about this, and the reason why I'm grabbing a lot of gems right now, is because this can actually crash. It's also why I don't go for a quick hit on a cannon at the end, where you can head bash it while you're going up, just to avoid the chance of having the game crash. Because quick hits seem to cause it to happen a bit more often. Also, hitting a cannon in the front can crash more often, like if you do at the end. Oh, nice. I got a frame perfect X input entering the water, which also means I entered the water gliding, which also means that I didn't dive. Then I got a weird charge out of water. But welcome to Bluto. That looks good. I went too slow. Bluto is an interesting fight. A lot of... Like, if you do the same thing every time in Bluto, it's scripted, which is a nice thing. But the fight can definitely be kind of hard just from the boat's controls. That was a decent Bluto, though. Now we head on to Water Tunnel, which is pretty self-explanatory. What? I'm very surprised I missed that. Water Tunnel is actually kind of hard because the controls are stupid. I also thought I was going to hit the guy's hitbox just barely, but apparently his hitbox was slightly smaller than I was expecting. Now we go to
head off.
Pretty interesting boss battle in terms of like tech. Pretty boring to watch though.
Listen carefully, you.
So now we get to go on to Buzz. And Buzz, we
When I heard the
extremely cheese this boss. We do a lot of manipulation by standing at the very edge of the map to make sure that he stops his buzzsaw attack right away. We also manipulate the camera to make sure that he doesn't do any fire attacks. So essentially this turns into almost an auto-scroller of a fight, where he just gets out of the lava and you just immediately attack him again. Yeah, that's Buzz. Now we have one more level left in Sunrise. This last one is Redhead Farm. Now for those of you that didn't like the Sparks levels in this game, 149 Egg actually makes them kind of interesting
You can also
most of the time. So right there, you can just angle correctly, hold the strafe button, and you just go out of bounds.
Looks like you're ready.
Like, there isn't really anything too spectacular to it. You'll see me doing more out of bounds in the later levels, particularly Spider Town and Starfish Reef. But a lot of this is just kind of barely dodging enemies. Might still be able to make that? Yeah, okay. I want to grab this invincibility right here because there's now a scary amount of enemies sitting around. As I said, I would rather not charge straight through that because I will not survive. One thing you also note about the Sparks levels is that the green power-up is very overpowered. Most of the levels I am just going to be dragging in the green power-up to the final boss, and I'm just going to be killing the boss in a few seconds.
Nice work. Spyro.
I don't need that. Now it has longer Sparks range, but I don't really care about gems. So yeah, that was Sunrise. Now for midday, I'd probably do a bit of a suboptimal route because I just kind of dragged over the 117 route because I was doing that a lot at the time. But it's not too bad. So right now I'm trying to do bridge swim, where you can get Spyro's swim animation to go up into the bridge and go over the lip and out of bounds. Right now this is wonderful. This trick is very finicky and I've been having issues with it lately, so it's nice. What? That should have worked. Dude. I am getting really irritated by this, actually. Are you kidding me? I'm pretty sure I'm timing this correctly. It's not working at all right now. Okay. Well, that's one I literally didn't set up for.
I have to.
So yeah, this is Sergeant Bird's main level. It's pretty much just any percent and 100 egg kind of thing, except I also have to grab the bird cages. Because getting all the bird cages gives you an egg.
So,
Which sadly means after I finish the level, I'm going to have to backtrack. There were some certain enemies that I killed there that make the bird move slightly faster. So of course you save like a very marginal amount of time. I suppose a better word I could use is like minuscule or something. Hopefully here I got like a nice flame cycle so I can just kind of breeze right through all this. Yeah, okay, cool. Maybe I get it back too. Maybe you just have to like stay on the roof and you never get hit actually. I don't know. So yeah, now I get to start my return trip with bombs. Okay. Good aim. A nice thing with Sergeant Bird is that sometimes you'll fire shots, and the shots will just kind of decide to home around enemies instead of into them.
before I was.
I've actually gotten a thing here before that I got shot through the floor at the same time as I hit that bird cage, which caused me to clip through the ground at a very fast speed and die to the death trigger right below. And I got really confused. That was cool. I don't know why that missed. Now we get to enter Spooky Swamp. I'm going to be trying to go for another dead body proxy. I got one, but it wasn't good enough. You need like a really high one off of the first croc to be able to do what you want with it, which is enter Sleepyhead. Welcome to Sleepyhead, a very boring boss where you can charge a bomb at him and you can still miss because good video game. I was going to talk about that. Nice job giving me an example game. Are you... Okay. That's cool. I love losing like 20 minutes or 20 seconds in Sleepyhead. Because reasons. Also never glide onto that, that's a bad idea. You might soft lock your game.
This swamps.
Now we get to blind guys.
We have
And blind guys in 117% is very scary because you're going to be trying to grab everything as you bring these guys around. But 149 egg, it's just kinda, yeah. You just kind of waste a bunch of time making sure that you don't hit anything too early. So you just kind of get to do things. I love being purposefully suboptimal. Look, it's the double mushroom that you never get to bring down.
one egg. If you
Now we get to do the other firefly, which is just also walking around the park with my bae. You right, Yuchi? I mean, I like the sound of park a bit more. I mean, this doesn't really look too much like a swamp right now. I timed this right. I'm kind of hoping I timed this right. Yeah, I didn't. I kind of wanted to get launched up by a mushroom just for the sake of it. But rip. Now we get to decide if this run is rip or not. It's not rip. Run's still alive. Getting that egg to spawn underneath. Excuse me. Getting that egg to spawn underneath God, I can't talk right now. Underneath Spyro is completely camera based. I said it. Yes. No. Who's ready for some more auto scrollers? Because I sure am. Oh, right now we actually get to have the third type of proxy, which is the squeeze proxy. And the squeeze proxy is when you put Spyro into a space too small for him to technically fit in, so the game just tries to thrust him out. So, like, a good way of depicting this is like, imagine like you have wet hands and you have a bar of soap. If you squeeze the soap and you squeeze it tight, the soap is going to fly out of your hands. It's kind of like that. In other words, Spyro is wet. I mean so. The walls are wet. Spyro is soap. This challenge is still bad speedrunning. I just get to kind of sit around, and I get to shoot that guy before he spawns so that the panda doesn't go over and meet his friend. Because who wants to go and meet friends when you can sit at home?
Please take.
Now we get to do another swim in air. I don't know why I did that. I could have set that up a lot better. Who's the phone? That was you on the phone and you on the bus.
We would be.
Who was flickering the lights?
Oh,
Oh, right. So, the egg that I just grabbed there was actually the thief egg. For some reason, before the thief spawns, they decided to have the egg trigger just kind of be below the bridge. So yeah, you can just swim in air and reach it. And then I grabbed that end level egg from underneath the map so that I can easily charge into the Bentley area. Or swim, I suppose. Then, of course, this is Bentley. Bentley is kind of slow. I don't really mind. I find him a nice change of pace, so I don't really care. Looks like I can go for this. Ah, so close. And here, get to go for another swim in air. Because it was found that this is slightly faster than charging back here and doing this. Before he was born? Wow. That's pretty impressive. Now we get to do pots. I'm also very surprised I didn't talk to Zoe there. Now we get to enter another speedway. Excuse me, by the way, my throat gets a little clogged shortly after I wake up. So this is just more of the same. Do speedway, time attack, race, hunter challenge, yada yada yada. Not really much I can. So how is chat doing? That's good. Races are very hit or miss for me in these games. Speedrunning wise, they're... I mean, if I was doing an IL, they'd be cool. But since I'm not, they're not. Minutes of semi-safe strats. Also, I don't really know what I bonked on there. I don't really recall if I bonked on anything. This is about a 221. So, who's ready for more auto-scrollers? 'Cause I sure am. Oh, it's the 220. Okay. It's better than I thought. Yeah, you can't post, like, just a link. You would have to, like, type other things, Lightson. Because otherwise it's just going to believe that it's spam.
Spyro. Look.
So yeah, auto scroller. It just kind of, you know, do this for a while. This challenge is about a minute 20. You just kind of, yeah. I think it speaks for itself pretty well. Only one of the hunter challenges is, by definition, not an auto-scroller, and that's the first one. BHD, I think you mean try hard. Yeah, I know, this is pretty strenuous movement at Spyrothon.
We got the...
So the nice thing about the version that I'm running on that kind of makes up for not having all the music is I can just pause and exit early. I don't have to care what Spark says. I don't have to listen to him about exiting. And the nice thing about 149 egg and the route that I do is that I can proxy off the rock. What? I get to actually shoot the rock. Alright, so I'm gonna be going for squeeze proxy here. Got it. Now, there is an egg over there, but I grab it later in this category. Actually grab it playing as Sergeant Bird. Also, rip headphone users. Like me, I'm a headphone user.
Isn't this the... Let's start with something easy. You can jump off the end of ramps by pressing the X button. I'll show you
Now,
how to do it
since we've
once,
already done
then it's your
skateboarding,
turn.
I think it's about time. I think it's about time for me to learn how to skateboard.
Hey! Whoa!
Oh, everyone take a nice look at this 180 right here. That is a solid ass 180 right there.
Now that... Wow, you... I'm thinking you're ready.
I think you should have turned it up.
Whoever scores the most points in the
TBH.
time limit wins.
Alright. Welcome to... Let's get a bunch of points quick, and... Yeah. How many points do I have? Oh, we good. We good. This is a nice stretch break. OMG, me either. Time to plug in my phone. Look at my phone. What's going on Twitch? Oh man. Ugh.
I can't believe...
Well, that was fun. I get to move on to Farley, which has some semi-technical movements. Start with a nice flame charge jump here and miss the button because, you know, reasons. Have to kill these enemies. Flame charge them because I totally need the gems. I actually do use gems in this category, so not many. Yeah, that's what we call casual jump. Because you just kind of move like a casual to get it. You don't even have to charge, you just kind of walk and jump and then flame from far enough away.
Hey!
Kinda hurts your ears when all of those guys wake up at once.
It's good to be back at.
Now, now we get Bone Dance World Record. Oh, dude, that was good. That was some good shit right there. I'm actually surprised I even hit. Yeah, I didn't know either. Never would have known that I was doing Bone Dance. Oh, I didn't mean to turn like that. Anyway, as I said before, I was going to grab this egg during this. I would find that so funny. Replace all the sound effects with the statue explosion sound. Okay.
Here.
Sadly, I am not going to be watching the Bone Dance because I don't know how much time I've lost so far, so I don't really want to chance too much right now. So that there is what we call a bunny vase snipe. Where you charge a bunny directly into the vase and the vase explodes. Now we have Icy Peak Skip, which it sounded like based off the any percent run. Just didn't go all too well. And it went fine. Cool. I would guess I'm like 2 minutes behind. Just from sunrise. Like, I think this midday has been going decent, but yeah. You can tell me, I don't really care. Start of my run's pretty decent from what I remember. 3.5. Did you include like the opening cutscene stuff? Because oh shoot, that's not what I do here. Well, whatever. Oh, that's gone, but I still have to do this. Somewhere in here. There it is. So yeah. That's what we call JT wall hack.
Step right.
And yeah, you can just shoot the cannon through the wall. Okay, so it's more like 3 minutes.
Tonight is my.
Okay. Most of my time save is like end game anyway, so I might not be losing all too much, or I might not be that far behind. But the Sunny Villa, I lost like easily a minute. And there was like something else that went bad, but yeah. No big deal. As soon as I get out of Sunny Villa, or like out of Sunrise, I can actually like finish runs and not be nervous or annoyed mostly. That's nice. Also, yeah, auto scroller. Funny thing about this Usually when I stay out with the roses, they kind of lag my game a little bit, so I like to look away.
We did it.
Suppose here is actually like my first evidence, or like the first evidence showing a wall glide. If you angle yourself correctly at a wall in this game, you can gain a little bit of height before the game decides to flop you. So if you can do it just right and time everything just right. Also, that was a solid icy peak aside from like death abusing earlier. Probably save time. Anyway,
Head on.
yeah, you can set up so that you can get to some areas that you're normally not supposed to by wall gliding. Now we enter Spike, which is the best boss in the game. Because he's actually enjoyable.
My tech.
That is my actual reasoning. I actually like this boss because it's well designed. There's still some RNG to it, but it's not extremely terrible. Like later bosses that I might be complaining about when the time comes. That was nice. That was very nice to the game. I appreciate when it likes to not be nice. Now we get to enter Spyrothon, which has a very interesting out of bounds. And I just kind of want those for the sake of having them.
Hi, Spyro.
So yeah, you just kind of squeeze yourself in the space between the beetle and the wall after you shoot him a few times so he's close enough to the wall. And then you just go to the end. Sadly, that beetle has the green power-up, so you can't get it. So you have to deal with fighting this boss like this, which, I mean, it's not too bad. You can still finish him in 3 cycles, which I did. And we're skipping the Sparks gem finder because I don't think I need it. Pretty sure I don't need it. That's Midday Gardens cleared out. So now we move on to Evening Lake, which
Listen to me.
is definitely a homeworld in this category. It is usually the homeworld that you can see the most time in, just due to certain things, such as boxing and cat hockey. Normally, you're supposed to enter these honey hives, but there's actually a small amount of space that you can just hit them from underneath. So I was going for a charge there off of that guy, or a charge to hit that guy, but it didn't really go too well. Every other flower petal on this is solid from the opposite side. So you aim for the ones that you remember are solid from the top. This also might be my favorite speedway because it has the best minigame ever. Why didn't I get a charge off there? That's weird. Boy, I sure do love speedway races. This is also the longest speedway race. This one's taking around 2 minutes and 50 seconds. This the longest is Mushroom, followed by Country, followed by Harbor, followed by Honey. The beehive noise is actually pretty good, I agree. Dang. I mean, it's no big deal. Welcome to the part where I wait for more video game tech to talk about. Actually, it is time for the best minigame in the game. Objectively, the best minigame.
Look out, Spyro.
I like to call this minigame Meatballs and Sausage. You can kinda guess why. I mean, I actually don't mind tanks too faulty. There is actually subtle manip that you do during Meatballs and Sausage where you get hit so that the UFO crashes a bit faster. My favorite minigame is definitely Not Thanks To. I don't hate it, but it's not bad. Sausage and honey's pretty good together. Not gonna lie.
Spyro.
So fast paced. So this wall doesn't exist. They just didn't give it collision. That was found by Toogle. The original highlight of it is fantastic. People should check that out if they've never seen it. Ah, swag.
According to I just bought some Insta-Sprout Ultra Super Grow seeds from a bear with a bag of jams. He said they were magic, but I can't make them do
Welcome
anything.
to
You can have a
Shrooms.
couple if you like.
Shrooms has some interesting stuff to it. It has a certain precise trick off of the mushrooms. Where you hold square and X while the mushroom's going down, then you press X on the right frame while it's going, or you let go of square and keep holding X on the right frame as it's going back up, and you get extra height. Nice. Also, those spin jumps there are very, very annoying.
At last.
But yeah, that proxy was solid. Where am I? No! Dude, can I please? I just want to go over here.
Good days.
Now we get a very very entertaining egg. Nice, I missed. Nice, I missed again somehow. Come here. Come on.
So, I must admit.
Woo-wee. Almost broke a sweat there.
Oh,
That's kind of something I wonder as well, Nova Spell. Like, camping them is actually super easy. Now we get to the longest level of the run. Nom.
Be careful.
So we start out by doing a cannon jump there, which is just setting up the cannon to the right height and then timing a charge jump. I do that to enter skateboarding first,
Spyro.
because this is the most out of the way egg in the level. Some people like to do twisted, or most people like to do twisted lines while they do like these races to game boosts. But I tend to do nasty norks because I'm a lot more consistent at doing them and maintaining direction. I'll like veer off way to the side if I decide to do twisted lines. Oh, that was weird. At like really low height from just hitting that boat. Also, I could go for grabbing that extra life up there. Then again, I also get an extra life here. I want some leeway for when I do zombie. Because I do have to death abuse once for sure in this level. I have 2 lives, so I'd like to be
Now that the rhino.
safe.
Eat my skate dust, sucker.
So if I can grab that eventually, that would be cool. So yeah, you have to race around this track 6 times. Luckily this track is actually kind of fun to optimize, so I'm not too annoyed by it. Eat my skate dust, sucker. Okay. Let's clean up Hunter's mess. Looks like I'm not getting that extra life, but I should have gotten the skill point anyway. So it's not too big of a deal. Should have an extra life from that. I don't even remember what the skill point actually is, I just get it all the time. Like, I know that it's beat the race in under a certain amount of time, but I don't remember what the number is. I guess it would be 140 or 145. Okay, now since we did that, we're just gonna go to the end. but I have to damage abuse a bit. So that crazy head just shows up here at the end. And then this happens. There. That's not too big of a deal because I have to take some damage anyway. Oh, 145? Okay. I thought it would be somewhere around there.
But easy.
Now we enter subs. Subs! It's interesting. I'm gonna try to do some of the 117 manip stuff. See if it works. It didn't. None of it worked at all because my lines were wrong. So I'll just grab this guy right now. Dude, what? I was aiming at him the whole time. There we go. There was a guy in there. I know there was a guy in there. Just none of them want to go out of the tunnel. Dude. Oh, hey. I actually hit him. Kind of surprised about that.
Well,
Subs 2, I personally think is a lot easier to manipulate, partly because there's a bit less to manipulate. This should be better. Dude. A no scope and a self kill. 2 no scopes and a self kill. Alright. That was solid. Nice. So in this game, there is a 1 frame inconsistency between you losing all of your health and the game thinking that you're dying. So now I'm in a zombie state because I paused on the correct frame and left. What a zombie state does is it keeps you in the same state in which you enter an area in, being like swimming or on the ground. So, yeah, you just exit the water and ignore the fact that you went above the water. You just kind of get on with your life. Then we collect this egg from out of bounds. You can't skip this egg's cutscene though, otherwise you clip back inbounds. What this does is sets up a nice angle to enter Bentley.
I will.
But yeah, that was a very good substitute. And now we're at Bentley's actual level. Bentley's actual level has at least a little more to it than nothing. There's some camera manipulation that we use here. And the camera manip is pretty much all for these seals over here. And I actually did it wrong, so that's cool. At least on the first guy. Yeah, it's all set that up here. I'll do world record proxy, why not? That is one of the only proxies in the game with a side character. And that loses like 5 to 8 seconds. But it looks good. It looks funny. Ah.
Thanks, bro.
It's not something that I ever do in like really serious attempts for games. Because, I mean, it loses 5 to 8 seconds. Yeah, of course, Sandspawn Dance. Right now we're at Fireworks Factory, which in other categories be quite brutal. Or in like 117, it's quite brutal. Actually, it's still pretty brutal in this category. Because, I mean, even if I do well with Agent 9, we're bound to have some issue with Twin Dragons.
It looks like
Why is it called World Record Proxy, though? I don't actually remember the reasoning. I know that proxy has been in a world record before. I guess I'll go for Agent Spyro just because it looks cool, and Dak probably didn't go for it in the 100 egg round. I'm usually faster with Agent 9, but I'll go for it just for the sake of showing it off if I get it. Because there's an easy chance that it just won't happen in 117.
it looks like this. Hey. If you see that.
Okay, I didn't get it. That doesn't matter. There's a frame that you have to hit hit the start button on. And if you are holding square during it, you can actually pause buffer through Agent 9's trigger. And from there, you can just death abuse in the room and you can play Spyro, but I'm having okay zigzags. That getting stuck in that corner there was kind of funny. Never been stuck somewhere that long from a zigzag. Ah.
eggs for what?
I actually kind of want this for the sake of having lives. Because I've been dying more often than I've been wanting to. Or I did at the start of the run, and now it's starting to bite me in the butt. I'll probably actually talk about the Agent 9 movement when it comes to his main level. Then again, I could talk about it right now. Then again, I could also talk about how shit Twin Dragons is. Because the dragons kind of move based off of you, but also kind of RNG. And a lot of this is dealing with their movements. I was okay. Sometimes you can manipulate it right, so they just kind of go in a circle and they don't enter anywhere. So you don't lose any time due to bullshit. But sometimes they'll do this and they'll just like combo the hidey holes. Oh, he didn't actually snake around there. I was going to say that he's gonna snake around at that spot. That was okay. But yeah. That should be all the eggs. Now we get to move on to the most annoying level. Because it has boxing, also known as press square to maybe win. That was okay. At least I got over the ice wall. I'm gonna try to go for something kind of swag here. Just for shits. Ah, why did I have to stutter jump? I almost got it. I was trying to freeze the guy and then like just land on top of there and immediately, or like flame charge jump the guy and result freezing him and just immediately landing on top of him. Anyway, this is the most bullshit minigame in the entire game. IMO. I'm getting pretty lucky right now though. And I shouldn't have said anything, of course. As you would expect from something RNG based. I could have, like... It should have been like a 40 something, but it turned into a high 20 something. Also, that is Bentley's dance. He likes to dance when he gets eggs. Stop. It's my turn to punch. Stop. Dude. This man isn't listening to me. Performing in a marathon right now. You gotta show me the good stuff. Stop punching me in the fucking face. Get out of here. Fuck off. Stop. Oh my god. Can you not combo me, please?
Only 2 more.
Corner. Get in your corner. No, stop. After this run, I can re-enter Bentley, and you can punch Bentley as many times as you want. How does that make you feel, Yeti? You listened a bit.
Hey!
Now we get on to the second time that I pay for something in this run. Which is cat hockey.
Say,
Which I personally actually like cat hockey. Cat hockey's kind of fun.
I challenged him.
Get out of here. How'd that not go in? Get in there. Dude. I sure hope I don't lose this. I'm just like... Oh, hey. Thanks, game. Now, you can move that ice cube.
Well done.
Yeah, it's a pretty good egg. Let me sit here for a moment. Shoot. Let me just re-enter that level quick. I got a little distracted.
Welcome to...
Of course I can get the proxy when I need to any percent the level.
Thanks.
There we
for
go.
having me.
Oops. Entirely my bad. All right. Now we got RNG.
That's it. I've had enough.
And that's what I was doing there. After leaving that level and re-entering was my RNG manipulation.
This might be...
What might that RNG manipulation be for, you might be asking? It's so I get 10 green rockets in a row. Never mind. Apparently, so I could get all enemies. Are you shitting me? The second that I stop shooting. No fireballs. So that fight, what you generally want as far as RNG is concerned, are red rockets over green rockets. Because red rockets you get 50, for green rockets you get 1. And you want fireballs over any other attack because Scorch has the shortest time staying invincible afterwards. Now we got a very finicky out of bounds, I'd probably say. This one can be pretty hit or miss. Okay, cool. Also, that slope spot out of bounds there, I wasn't pressing any buttons and I just kind of slid up to the top.
When I saw that giant...
It has like really weird physics, so it just kind of zips you up. Now I'm gonna go and fight Sorceress, actually. Could probably do Charmed Ridge first, but there isn't really a point because I'll be going back around anyway. But the reason why I want to do Sorceress first is so I don't have to
You did it!
buy Agent 9. So I'm not sure if I have enough gems for. I don't actually remember. Good start. Are there any other cannons? Okay. Be staying here. Good. Looks like I do get an extra cannon. Just barely. I almost got Sorceress there. If I was just like slightly earlier. I mean, I ate eggs before I started doing this. And now we leave because we don't want to watch credits. course, you gotta get in the spirit of it. Oh, cool. Well, my dog is scratching on my door, but I'm not letting him in right now.
Sorry to be a pain. Talk to you the one time a day after I fed you.
Not now.
Tell me
Please?
something. Talk.
No.
Can't?
No! I'm in the middle of something. Half an hour, please. No. No.
Well, well.
The fuck? When you tell your parents that you're going to be busy, but they don't care.
I've been training. Just watch out for the shark riders. They're carrying the latest JX5 underwater tracking ammunition.
So this is actually a challenge I don't have a route for yet. Yeah, imagine not living alone. Exactly. Dude.
Try not to get hit.
Try not to get hit. I'll try my best. Dude.
Nice.
Amazing. I can't say I can imagine that faulty. JX5 underwater tracking ammunition is too strong.
Hi, Spyro.
Now I have to explain myself to my dad. Great. This is actually probably one of my favorite sections in the game. Just a 2D platforming section. Feels kind of, it looks kind of nice with like all the 3D aesthetics. Ah. Now I get to move on to Agent 9 level, so I can actually explain movement a little bit. So, as you saw before, when I was playing as Agent 9, you saw that I was just kind of wiggling back and forth. I was going really fast. And I mean, that's about the gist of it. You hold one of the shoulder buttons, you mash the other shoulder button, and you hold the direction, at least in first person. During the third person levels, though, you have to be holding diagonals. And doing that can be kinda weird. Can I not shoot this ball?
A vast.
Yeah, I was kinda garbo.
These indicate. You cleared them?
Good to do. Another spin jump there. I'm gonna try to go for 2 shots here. I got both of them. Nice. I always like when I get that ricochet kill.
Nice work. Now I can swim.
I'm okay with 5. Sometimes I don't get like near that many, so.
The lab's
Yeah. I go for a few trick shots in 149. Oh my god. Frickin' professor on my ass. Did I get the glitch? Yes. So you're standing on the right spot before you start the boat challenge. Or like if you're standing on the right spot when you end the boat challenge, there will be a couple frames that you already enter the egg cutscene before it actually starts. So the game thinks that you already grabbed the egg. Heyo.
Thank you very.
I always like that last hit. So Crystal Islands is a very interesting swimming area that if people were around for the 100 egg run, they would have also seen. And what we do is we rush down to the magician in this room here and talk to him, or talk to him as soon as we save him from these beavers, which I can't hit. And we get the swimming air off of the floating. So we wait for it to push us back and then hold forward and press square and get a swim. Now we got whack-a-mole, which is, I mean, it would be interesting if
Watch out
there
for
wasn't a
my
spot
friends.
that
They're trying to burrow
consistently
ahead of them.
spawns malls. You just kind of stand back here, and there's 4 spots that always spawn malls, which are those 4. The 4 that you see spawning ones constantly.
Well done.
Just kind of losing track of where I was there. I'm going to be trying to go for a very interesting proxy here at the start of slide.
Here, you can have.
I like to call it slide skip skip skip. Found by ZBM. And I missed it, but whatever. Essentially, you charge out of the proxy that you get from that little fodder, and you use it to just glide straight to the end of the slide. Next up, we got Haunted Tomb. Haunted Tomb starts out with a pretty tricky jump that we call Tastor. Or I'll attempt it at least. I failed it. So normally in runs, people jump on the door while it's going up. But if you can time your inputs just right, you can actually jump on the door and get to the end of the level while the door is still going down. But it's very precise. And we got another Agent 9 game. This one I find kind of funny because, I mean, you just skip the entire thing. Too much speed. If you get too much speed with Agent 9, you actually rubber band, so you'll start just flying backwards at a really fast speed.
I've waited.
The only way to really fix that is to keep zigzagging and hope that you start rubber banding back the other direction. Also, yeah, there's a small cue that we use to skip going over that slide there. Just like charge, jump, and glide after the skull. You can tend to just skip the entirety of that slide. Now we move on to probably the hardest minigame for people casually playing this game,
The riddle, very
which
impressive.
is moles.
That is correct.
Or moles,
Good
what am
luck
I saying?
in the
Tanks.
demolition hovercraft.
My bad. My bad. Tanks is actually very interesting from a speedrunning perspective. Because, I mean, it actually has, like, a route and specific strats and stuff
Well,
that are... I would say, like, the routing of
you
how
may now
we do this to make sure, like, dodge shots and stuff is really
such a
cool.
brave reptile you are.
Some people would just not care and say that Tanks is awful. Which, I mean, it can be quite bad. But I personally don't mind it too much. I used to hate this challenge though. And I actually like kind of sat down and got okay.
That
It's definitely something that requires a lot of practice to get good at. So Dino Mines has a very interesting route to it. I actually used some skips to go straight to the end in kind of an unconventional way. We start out by getting a window jump here. And we climb onto this roof, go to this wagon, and proxy off the axle.
well. Jump and jump.
Honestly, it was not fun because I
One of them
didn't
don't-
really know what I was doing, Becky. As soon as I looked at it, understood what to do, I started enjoying it. Yeah. Honestly, burgers right there. Doing something you don't like until you enjoy it. What? I failed both of the water tunnels.
That was.
Next, we got the boatload of fun that is Bailey Gang, which is the second to last auto scroller in the run. With the last auto scroller being the best auto scroller, aside from meatballs and sausage. Dude, I was aiming directly at that guy and shot him like 10 times. I don't understand why none of those shots worked. Dude, what? Hit him! Oh my god. Like shooting fish in a barrel. Indeed. Oh, that was the last one. I thought there was more for some reason. I did meg him, that is true. Dinosaur. I feel like that is also something I don't want to watch. Dinosaurs in a western. Also, yeah, you can probably guess based off of how I've been like aiming and stuff that spawn points are indeed consistent. I just wasn't feeling skillful enough, guys. So yeah, there's actually an egg back here. Somebody that was on drugs. I'm not sure how I didn't take damage at first there. I just want those for Bugbot Factory. Having full health entering Bugbot is really nice. Especially if you're trying to go fast in 149 egg, then you're just kind of skipping everything. Also, I'm coming near the end. Thought I'd let you guys know I'm within like the last 10 minutes of the run. At Spyrothon. Oh, right. Yeah. You end on last egg in harbor. That was interesting. Oh, okay. I didn't know those would all be there. That was convenient. Right, now we get to enter the last level of the run, Harbor Speedway.
That last egg.
Also, I just unlocked the power to break open baskets. With sparks, which is useless. Now, I do have a chance of losing 50 seconds because the game just doesn't want me to have them on the very last egg, which is great. I don't know what the lobster noise is, honestly. Yeah, we should have around 3 minutes. Or probably closer to 3.5. Which means I'm going under estimate. Cool. I was kind of scared at the start of the run. I was like, oh no, if this run goes like this entire sunrise is gone, this might not go well. But I pulled it together, so that's good. Why would I not want ring glitch? Ring glitch just means I get to see 50 more seconds of ass. Chunky hunter ass. Fucking island jump. I want to fuck big hunter ass. Oh man. Alright. About to start the hunter challenge.
I'm in voice with you to get the timer now.
Yeah, I know. Welcome to the ass. I call this the ass because of the ass. Get your screen caps ready, we gotta get an emote. What the hell is that triangle emote you have? Oh, that's Hunter's ass. Okay, no ring glitch.
Yes!
Right, so... time.
I wasn't sure if it was like after the egg thing
There's-
stopped moving or
I
not.
said time. It's when the egg
But
pops
there's a
open.
delay, so I have to watch the thing and find out. So it's
Yeah,
not
it was when
exactly-
the egg popped open.
Yeah, I'm watching on remote desktop control for a Flatay's thing, but there's still a delay between you saying that and me having to guesstimate.
Yeah. Yeah, that was okay. That was like a 2:14:30-ish. I mean, still second place run. So yeah. Anyway, thanks everyone for sticking around for that. Up next we got Gazco doing Spyro 1 to 20%. So stay tuned for that.
Hype.